Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And yes, once again, I have to say, the police are not your friends. It's so often. And just for a change, not really, it's the Metropolitan Police. It's nearly always the Metropolitan Police, isn't it? This time, an officer has rather unusually been fired. They don't normally like to fire them. But they had to get rid of this one. He's PC Hussein Chahab, and he was fired for having an inappropriate and physical relationship with a 14-year-old girl. This is a man who goes in and out of schools all the time. Why was he not vetted? Why was he not re-vetted? Why was he not continuous vetting process on these people? I have done so many videos. I'm doing 2, 3, sometimes 4 videos a week on how bad the police are. Why is nobody changing it? Why is nobody taking control of it? Why do I keep having to make videos about bastards like this? We'll have a look at this guy and we'll tell you how awful he is, and we'll name and shame him and give him all the details that we can. Here goes. So, vile P Met officer sacked after having relationships with a girl 14. PC Hussein Chahab made indecent images of very young people while serving as a safer schools officer in Enfield. So it makes you wonder who was posing for these images. Was he going in and out of schools and taking pictures of children? He's that sort of person. He is an undoubted P. So a vile P Metropolitan Police Officer, a PD, that's what PC stands for, isn't it? PD Constables, has been sacked after he had an illicit relationship, shall we say, with a 14-year-old girl. PC Hussein Shahab pleaded guilty to 4 counts of this activity with a girl aged 13 to 15, as well as 3 counts of making indecent photographs of a very young person and sexual communication with a very young person in court in January. Sorry about using the language that I am. It's YouTube doesn't like some terms. You have to be very careful what you say. But a misconduct panel on March the 9th found him guilty of gross misconduct, and he was fired without notice ahead of his sentencing tomorrow. That's Friday, Paddy's Day, Friday, March the 17th, he'll be sentenced. PC Chahab's crimes came to light in July 2021 when the family of a 16-year-old girl alerted police to a relationship with him, which they said began when she was 15. He was arrested on August the 24th, 2021, and his phone and laptop were seized. And you can guarantee they were filled to the brim with the kind of images that people like him sort of slaver over. Having been placed on restricted duties, indecent images were found on his devices, and he was arrested again on October the 28th and suspended from duty. Detectives then found messages which showed PC Chahab and a 14-year-old girl engaging in sexual communication. She later revealed they appeared to have entered into a relationship when she was just 14 and he was 18 years old. During his time at the force, he worked as a safer schools officer in North London, meeting and greeting parents and children at the front gates of school in Enfield. This week, the Met Police said no evidence has been found linking any of Chahab's offending to his role. Yeah, but if he's been hanging around children, you know he's going to be looking at them. He said, although he did make indecent images of very young people in this period. Detective Chief Superintendent Caroline Haynes, the lead for policing in Enfield, where PC Chahab served, said, following his criminal conviction, it is right that PC Chahab is formally dismissed from the Met. He should have been dismissed years ago. PC Chahab committed the vilest of offences and abused his position of trust in the most despicable ways, and it continues to be incredibly confronting to see officers convicted and dismissed for such behaviour. However, we are committed to rooting out officers who do not belong in our ranks, and it is abundantly clear that PC Chahab has no place in the Met. The Met is the worst. The Met is filled with people like this. I've mentioned this before. At the moment, there's over 1,000 officers being investigated just for sex crimes. That's well away from the frauds, the embezzlement, the corruption and everything else. The Metropolitan Police needs to be disbanded and reformed, but with having like virtually nobody that's currently in it. You cannot trust any of these people. And I say to women, be very careful going near a cop. And I say to children, definitely do not trust a policeman. You cannot trust them. They are vile human beings on the most. We see it time and time and time again. How many videos do I have to make? And what's sad is, how many more will I have to make? I'm not going to go further into this one. He's been caught. We'll find out what the sentencing is tomorrow, and I will do a backup on that and find out how long he got. But I suspect it actually won't be as long as most decent people would think would be fitting. He'll probably get 2 years or something like that and be out in a year, or even possibly even suspended. But it is a vile misuse of power, and he's just a vile piece of human filth. And I do hope that if he does go to jail, that he's made to feel particularly welcome by the inmates. Anyway, I shall round off and come up. Wasted enough time on that piece of shit. I find it appalling that I have to make so many videos about the same subject, about the police and their proclivities. We've said time and time again that every officer in every police force across the country not just needs to be vetted when they join, but needs annual vetting. And we need to break this code where policemen don't say anything. I can't say the O word because that's one of those forbidden words, funnily enough, on YouTube. But it's the one that has an erta at the end, om at the front and erta at the end. But it is there, this silence that the police never report each other. And this is what happens when it gets out of hand and when nobody is reported. You end up with policemen getting away with the most appalling crimes because nobody has the balls to stand up and say that officer is committing a terrible, terrible offence. And it's very unusual for him to be actually fired, because I did a video the other day that 99% of all policemen who have, should we say, sexual peccadillos, or sexual charges against women, women that have sexually made accusations of a sexual nature, or where they've committed, raised their hands to women, things like that. 99% of these officers are still working as policemen. That cannot be right. That culture has to change. You cannot have a culture where you can just get away with things and treat people like that, especially treating women like that. But it seems to be the order of the day because you've got a uniform and you've got a warrant card. You can do what you like, and it's got to stop. Anyway, I'll stop now too. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button as quick as you can. Ring the bell for notification of future outputs. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please, please, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, keep policemen away from your kids, and goodbye.